Welcome to our November sale of important Australian art. Once again, we have been delighted to assemble a remarkable collection of paintings, sculpture and works on paper by some of Australia's preeminent practitioners. A highlight of this sale is the inclusion of 20 major sculptures by Robert Klippel. Klippel is regarded by many as Australia's most important sculptor of the second half of the 20th century. 19 of these sculptures was included in the Klippel exhibition held at the National Gallery Victoria in 2008. They are being offered for sale for the first time.
Robert Klippel's unique vision and his importance in the history of Australian art derive in large measure from his international experience, in Europe in the late 1940s and in America in the late 1950s. From the former, he developed a broadly surrealist aesthetic. From the latter, a more abstract, formalist approach to assemblage. The resulting idiosyncratic style can best be summarised by the artist's famous declaration, "I seek the relationship between the cogwheel and the bud." Klippel combines a variety of found objects, machine parts, bits of model-making kits, wooden foundry patterns and so forth, in a delicate balance of the organic and the mechanical. He creates robotic flowers, mechanical trees, industrial forests. Numbers 837 and 1133, with their curved plate horizons, look like landscapes of hills surmounted by television towers, or like periscopes or marker buoys rising from the waves of the sea. Klippel's totem figures of rings and rods, gears and pistons are amongst the most original and delightful inventions of Australian modernism, and we are pleased to be able to offer such an extensive and various array.
A remarkable highlight in this collection are two extraordinary paintings by Sidney Nolan. Both works bear the distinguished provenance of coming from the collection of Mrs. Cynthia Nolan, who during her lifetime acquired a remarkable collection of her husband's works that were made available for major exhibitions in Europe and America during the 1950s, 1960s and 1970s. Both these paintings bear exceptional exhibition histories. The earliest work, Escaped Convict, dates from 1948 and was included in Nolan's highly acclaimed solo exhibition held at the David Jones Art Gallery in 1949. From this exhibition, Hal Missingham, the then director of the Art Gallery of New South Wales, acquired two paintings. Escaped Convict tells the story of the trials and tribulations of Eliza Fraser and the convict Bracefell. This painting focuses on the Queensland outback and beautifully renders the landscape and iconically shows Bracefell as he traverses through this rugged terrain. The second painting, Ram Caught in Flood, had its origins in the 1952 journey that Sidney and Cynthia Nolan took to the Queensland drought-stricken outback. This trip was sponsored by Brisbane's Courier Mail, who wanted Nolan to record this tragic landscape. This particular painting became a kind of talisman for Nolan. It was painted in London in 1955 and exhibited at his solo exhibition at the Redfern Gallery that same year. In 1959, it was exhibited at Documenta in Kassel, where it became one of the most reproduced images. It's interesting to note that this painting was exhibited alongside a major painting by Pablo Picasso.
Amongst the rarest and most sumptuous of Donald Friend's works are his painted wooden doors. These fantastic confections, with their trompe-l'oeil carved panels, freewheeling iconography, bright palette and luxurious gilding, have their beginnings in a work Friend painted for the then director of the Queensland Art Gallery, Robert Haynes, in 1955. Evidently pleased with the results of this commission, the artist developed the idea further while he was living in Ceylon, now Sri Lanka, between 1957 and 1962. During this period, Friend made a number of double doors for the Bentota estate of Bevis Bawa, brother of the renowned Sinhalese architect Geoffrey Bawa. One of these sets is now in the collection of the Art Gallery of New South Wales. On his return to Sydney, he was also asked to make the doors for the chapel of Picton Castle, Pembrokeshire. The work on offer in the present sale, in all likelihood, dates from this same late 50s, early 60s period. The rich patterning and gold grounds certainly chime with the gold leaf icons Friend exhibited at the start of 1962. This door combines the biblical story of the temptation and the classical myth of Orpheus and the animals with 4 smaller, more imaginary scenes, each panel painted in the illustrative style of mid-century English modernism and framed by an illusionistic chip-carved border. It is, as Friend himself said of the Haynes door, brilliant, complicated, sumptuous and slightly absurd.
Rupert Bunny was an Australian artist with a truly international reputation. For many years he lived and worked in Europe and exhibited at the Royal Academy in London and the Old and New Salon in Paris. The French government acquired his works on numerous occasions and he returned to Australia at various intervals to have solo exhibitions. The Cliff Path is one of Rupert Bunny's most beautiful paintings remaining in private ownership. It was recently included in the Artist Retrospective exhibition organised by the Art Gallery of New South Wales. The subject is the beachside town of St George. The companion painting, Shrimp Fishers at St George, resides in the collection of the National Gallery of Victoria. The Cliff Path I have known for many years from a reproduction from a 1918 publication of Art and Australia. I saw it for the first time in the Bunny retrospective and was staggered by its quality and beauty. We are absolutely honoured to have been entrusted with the sale of this magnificent painting, which retains its original frame when the family acquired the work in 1911 from the Artist's Solo exhibition.
Another highlight of the November sale is a quite remarkable collection of 5 paintings by Grace Cossington Smith, 4 of which were formerly owned by the artist's sister Mabel. The earliest are a couple of flower paintings, flannel flowers in a brass tray and bottle brushes, both works shown in the artist's London exhibition of 1932. Although in flannel flowers the blooms are cut and arranged in a spare, airy, still life composition, the work has the same dynamism and vitality of form and brushwork found in Cossington Smith's celebrated flowers growing works of the same period. The cylindrical blooms of bottle brushes may owe something to Margaret Preston's late 1920s Banksia paintings, but the dense, fractured, almost cubist surface is very much Cossington Smith's own. 2 landscapes from the 1940s, also from Mabel's collection, show the artist moving towards her mature style, breaking the image into a rich mosaic of unmixed brushstrokes. Cossington Smith's teacher, Antonio Datilo Rubo, used to call her Mrs. Van Gogh. In The Still Life with Leaves of 1953, we can see why. This utterly radiant painting shows the crystalline brightness of her late style at its golden best.